Good morning, students. So this screencast is about the Civic Engagement Community Educational Needs Research and Analysis Showcase that we are offering in the Live Online EDU 221 Foundations of Education or Introduction to Education courses. And both Professor Tarwater and I have offered this to you as an opportunity to understand a little bit more about the educational needs in our community, as well as the impacts that our politicians or our policymakers have on what happens in education in our state. So this has three parts. And as you engaged in the lesson with the Consuming Public School lecture, you had an opportunity to think about the reforms that have taken place in education and the various perspectives someone could have about the goals and purposes of education, as well as behaviors or actions that person would take in response to their particular understanding or belief about the role of education in our society. So part one, we asked that you take a look at early childhood education and have First Things First, or excuse me, Quality First Arizona website. And on this tab, we're asking that you click and that you type in your address and we see what you find. And then when you find and you look at the resources, then we're asking that you perform an analysis. How many child services are available? What types of facilities are they? What services do they provide? And what conclusions can you draw about the educational and youth needs? So let's go ahead and click here on this first one. And I'm going to go ahead and type in my old address when I lived in North Tempe. So let me see what's going on around that community. So when I click within 5 miles, I do search. One thing that Professor Tarwater and I understood is that with the advanced search, there doesn't matter in terms of ages. This only covers childcare for birth through 5 years old. So here I see there are 37 providers within a 5-mile radius around the address I typed in North Tempe. And the first one that comes up with under a mile from that address is Laird School. Now what I do know is that Laird is an elementary school. And so we see that there is a center, an early childhood center on the grounds of Laird School. It's child care. When I click on more, oh, it has 3 stars for a rating. When I click on more information, I see that it serves ages 3, 4, and 5, and that it meets quality standards. There's Learn More, but I'm going to leave that to you to click on Learn More. But there's the standard verbiage that says, keep this in mind, that there are a lot of factors and that this program is voluntary. Quality first. All right, so I'm going to click to my next one or move on to my next one. The next one is Maricopa County Human Services, Paiute Head Start. When I look at the type of care, it's a center. It has not been rated, and it's a little over 2 miles from that address. More information. This serves toddlers. Toddlers are often in diapers. And then we have 2 through 5 years old. There is no rating yet. Okay. And then the third one, still a little over 2 miles. First Steps Preschool, more information. This one serves infants, and so that's something to think about. Infants and toddlers are often in diapers. This center exceeds quality standards. And then there are scholarships offered. What does that mean if there's scholarships offered? Maybe that's in the more info. Okay, I don't see, but that would be something to take a look at. What does that mean if there are scholarships offered? Let me even click here. Nope. Maybe there's Learn More. There is some more information about paying for childcare. Quality First scholarships. I'm not going to dig too deeply into that because that's going to be your opportunity to find out more about the services in your area. So that's the first piece. So I want you to think about what it is that you can discern. So with the first three, knowing that there's 37 in my the 5 mile area of the address that I typed in, with the first three, there's one offered on the grounds of an elementary school. The other one is county services, a Head Start program, and the other one is a preschool. One of those takes infants. One is placed on the ground. So if I'm a parent with a child who is 3 years old, and then I also have a couple of other children who are elementary age, then that might inform the choices I make in terms of the school I choose. However, if there are some issues with finances, then perhaps the first two may not be available to me because I need some support with scholarships. So ideally, I've given you a little bit of food for thought for how to think about evaluating the options and the opportunities that were in your service area, the 5 miles around your physical address. So going back here, we'll take a look at the nation's report card. So with the video that Professor Tarwater put together, she found this great source and she also had a drop down. So I went through and I looked at it, and virtually the same information that was in the drop down in the first video, I believe is captured here in the nation's report card. So looking at this, there's a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm just going to zero in on what I want to know. So I'm going to come back here, and when I click on dashboards, the achievement gap just jumps out at me as something that I want to figure out. So I'm going to click on the achievement gap, and it pops this tutorial about how I could potentially use this information. So I need to select a jurisdiction, a student group 1, a student group 2, and then click add the gap, and then I'm ready to go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to choose Arizona. First student group I'm going to choose is black because I'm black. The next one I'm going to choose is white because there's always a conversation about black, white. And yes, I do know that there are other groups, but I'm just doing it. And then cross tab, let me see about female. So I'm a black female and I want to see what information I can find. So I'm going to choose add gap. Oh, but I didn't choose any other places. So let me choose the obvious math because I'm terrible at math. I can get better, but I'm terrible at it. And look at what I see. When I look at grade 4 and 8, that between black, the plus sign is the key for black and the circle is the key for white. Both groups are female. And then this dark navy blue tells me the significant difference. So there is this minus 19 significant difference between the scale score for black females as compared to white females. Okay, so my next steps is thinking about what I understand or think or feel about it. And that's going to be your job, to click around and make draw some conclusions about what you see. And then I look here with reading and I have years. So it looks like the gap has not changed between 1992 and 2019. What does that mean for grade 4 reading? Okay, so that's just one area that I'm clicking into from this tab. There's so much more information and it's up to you to decide what you want to know. The other one I wanted to know about was the sample questions on the National Assessment of Educational Progress and civics. We are talking about civic engagement in this course, so I was drawn to that. How do they measure civics? And citizen involvement. Let me click on that. So it's a short constructed response about the American political system. And so here it is. In addition to voting and being a candidate, what are two ways that citizens can be involved in presidential campaigns and elections? And then show information and commentary. So a complete response identifies two opportunities. A partial response identifies one opportunity. Unacceptable response does not identify any opportunities. And then the sample response, by being campaign managers or lending campaign money, or by being assigned to pass out ballots on voting days. Now I would imagine that this would be part of the instruction that a student would be receiving, and with the scoring, that those are opportunities that students would be given to think about how they could be involved in a presidential campaign. All right, so that's just a little bit of help and thought about the Nation's Report Card. This is your opportunity to make your own decisions about what you want to know. And then you get to choose, why did you select the tab? Well, I chose the response for black females compared to white females because I'm a black female. And then I chose the obvious reading and math. And then I also selected the NAEP sample questions, and because we're in a class where we're talking about civic engagement, then I went to the civic engagement, and then what do I want to know about that, or what does it tell me? And that's your job to talk about that. The next piece is really kind of exciting to me because we are in an election year, and also because I have a strong belief that as an American citizen, it's my right and my responsibility to be engaged in my political process. I believe that that's one of those rights I was given as being born in America and being an American citizen. So if you haven't registered to vote, then here's an opportunity to go there. But once you are registered to vote, then who do you vote for? How do you know? And I think it's important to be informed. So this link right here will take you to the Arizona Independent Redistricting Commission and give you the opportunity to find your district. So once again, I'm going to type in my old address when I used to live in Tempe. And let me try to talk and type at the same time. And let's see what I find. All right, so districts for that address are District 9 for a congressional district, and for the legislative district, it's number 26. So back to your assignment, we have see who's running for office. And so here, the state of Arizona, we have the federal. And so here we recognize these two guys, right? Because, you know, they're all over every TV ad, every radio ad, every paper. So I'm hoping that you recognize who these two candidates are running, but you may not have known that there's a third candidate running for President of the United States. Okay. And then for our U.S. senators here, we have two that we get to have for our Senate. And we know these two folks because every time you turn around, there's some kind of a ad for them. But you may not have known about these other folks running for senator. Now, this guy kind of looks like Abraham Lincoln to me, which I think is really kind of cool. I've already looked at their websites. I didn't see anything too particularly interesting in regard to their views about education. So here are those running for Congress. All right, so we're going to scroll down and see. I have in my current address, I do know that I am legislative district number 5. So I know that this is the candidates that are running for U.S. Representative in Congress. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take a look at their information. I'm going to go just the first one that pops up, alphabetical order. This is Andy Biggs. And if I look about his candidate info here, I'm trying to decide if here I see anything about education, and I don't. So let me go to his website. And so here I see his first landing page. Let me see if there's something in issues. And so look, we've got some really easy to find tabs about issues, and right there I see education because that's what I'm concerned about here. So when I look at his blurb about education, he says decisions made by parents, families' freedom to choose, um, including public, private, online, or homeschool, um, opportunity to grow and succeed. When I think about that, then I think back to the activity we engaged in. Then we want to take a look at what you had to engage with. So if we're looking at our current candidate, it would appear to me that there was some language that talked about the school choice movement, consumerism, and social efficiency. Okay, so then let's go back to the next candidate. So we click on candidate info. As I look here, I see healthcare. I'm looking for education. So far I'm not seeing anything, so let me go to the website, and then on the website we have healthcare, economic security, veterans. All right, and I don't see anything there. Oh, here says it is not only irresponsible to not invest in technology, healthcare research, and provide a quality education, it is not good business. So, let's see, continue to lose our standing on the world stage. So those are some language pieces here that make me think wealth production, the social efficiency, not only individually, but on the world stage, if we think back to our notes. Okay, so then if we look at our next piece about the civic engagement, their Proposition 208. Let me see, state folks. We've got corporation folks here, so legislative. I do know I'm legislative district number 12. Hope I'm not making you. Okay, here I've got two candidates. Let's see. Nothing there. Candidate website. Do we say anything about education? I think you get my gist, right? This candidate information website. As I've gone through with what it is that I'm seeing on my current address, I didn't do my previous one, then hopefully you're getting some ideas about how to go about finding this information out for you. All right, students, then when you put together your showcase, you're free to choose here. And for those of you who might use something like PowerPoint, then here's some information about the rule of 7x7 and how to record and add voiceover in Google Slides. Here are some other possible resources that you might find. And then here are the original video instructions. Okay, hopefully this is helpful. We're really looking forward to what you create.